Welcome back to Your Real Estate Voice with Barb Schlinker. She's the host of the program, and this is the weekly radio show that informs and educates you on how to buy or sell real estate, and it does it with Barb Schlinker, the owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Now, Barb, when people sell homes, they typically try to pick up and clean up so that it looks really good when they're ready to sell the home. What are some steps to help people prepare their home for sale and to move to a smaller home, that downsizing list?
Well, Richard, it starts with you kind of, first of all, have to know the size of your destination and know how much you have to kind of downsize. I just had a client that moved from a rather large house, over 3,000 square feet, a ranch with a basement, to a little condo. And so they it was quite a process. We started in July, and then that home will close and finalize on Monday. So it was quite a change for them to, okay, I don't need this, I don't need that. But when you're showing a home, when you put a home on the market, it's not the same way as the way you live. Most people don't have their house perfectly picked up all the time. If they do, my hat's off to them. Great. It's hard to keep a home that way. Just normal day-to-day stuff. You come home, you put stuff on the kitchen counter. Usually there's more stuff on the counters than the way you would present it for sale. And over time, things accumulate, right? I remember when I first moved into our house, I'm like, oh, I'm never going to have enough stuff to fill this kitchen. Well, I did. Okay. And then we recently did some updating. And so we had to move everything downstairs and we moved back upstairs, but a lot of the stuff we moved downstairs has not made it back up yet. And obviously, I don't need it. So I think that happens over time that people just pick up, accumulate things, and it's things that I may not need or I may not want, or I might want to donate, or I might want to sell even. And I think in general, a lot of people surround themselves with things that make them feel comfortable. But when it comes to putting a home on the market, it's a whole different set of eyes, and it's a whole different approach as to how you're going to put your house on the market. And we usually bring in an interior designer by trade to help you get ready for that. And the reason for that is that not you don't live the same way that you would put your house or present your home to the market. As an example, in the kitchen, everything should be off the kitchen counter. The only exception might be the coffee pot, right? No throw rugs on the floor, no dish towels hanging from the stove. Although in normal day-to-day life, you do have stuff on the counter and you do have throw rugs on the floor and you do have dish towels hanging around. So for photo day is a different day than living in the home if you're selling the home, living in the home. But I've had some people, when they get their set of instructions from our designer, they kind of push back and go, no, I'm leaving that. I'm sorry. I'm not going to remove that. And that's fine. You don't have to. We can work around this stuff. Plus, we can pretty much Photoshop any picture to make it look good. So how do you tell if a home actually has clutter? If you live like that, I will say from my own experience, my own house, I don't notice it. Like I didn't think I had a cluttered home. And back in 2013, 2013, when we had that fire, we were on pre-evacuation. So I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I heard somewhere that you're supposed to go around, take a picture of all your stuff for the insurance purposes. If it does burn down, gather up what you really, really can't live without and box that up. So it wasn't very much. It really wasn't. It wasn't the clothes. It was just a few pieces of paper and pictures, and that was about it. So um, when I took pictures afterwards, after the pre-evacuation, I went back and took a look at those photos. And what shocked me was that, oh my gosh, there's a bunch of clutter here that I never noticed, even though I live in this home every single day. So the photos are really going to speak back at you. It's almost like it jumps off the page at you. So that's the first step I would take, is to just take photos of your home, be honest and open, bring them up if you can on a larger screen or computer and go, oh, okay, would a buyer want to come in and look at my house like that? Because we know the very first showing is online. So if the buyers don't like the pictures, they won't come and see your house. It's just that simple. So we have to get that right. Even though the buyers are not buying your stuff, they're not buying your furniture, um, they have to be able to envision themselves living in the home, which means having a more minimal, clutter-free type of appearance. Now, an example you could use would be going to take a look at new construction models. Those are pretty much free of clutter, but they look pretty. There's enough decorating to make it look attractive, but it also doesn't look empty either. It looks like somebody lives there, but it's just very nicely done. And they do this because they know that buyers cannot visualize living in a home that might be finished, but it's got no furniture, or it might be finished at the framing stage. It's very hard for a lot of buyers. I know from my own showing experience to visualize what that room's going to look like looking at a bunch of boards, before they put the drywall up. So that's why they put up models, and these models are well furnished, they're neutral, they lack clutter, and that's how they get buyers to fall in love and basically sign the contract to purchase a brand new home. Even though they know when buyers buy a brand new home, they're going to have to put in landscaping and window coverings and spend all this extra money besides the cost of the house. So the first steps would be, when you declutter, to take it one room at a time. And you work on these rooms. Curb appeal, number one, give your bushes a haircut, freshen up the mulch beds, fix that doorbell, freshen up the doormat. If you can, paint the door if it needs it. The backyard, the view, make sure it's neat and tidy back there. The living room is a very, very important room. It comes ahead of the kitchen. So make sure the living room is clutter free. The flooring looks good. There's no blankets laying around. There's just no extra stuff. Same thing with the kitchen. Everything off the counters except for the coffee pot. Make sure everything looks in good condition and it matches. Master bathroom's another critical room. It has to look fresh and clean and inviting, and the same with the master bedroom. Now, places you don't need to worry about so much would be like your garage. There are one or two home sellers that have the amazing, immaculate, refinished garage with all this organized shelving, which is great. But most people don't live that way. They have stuff in their garage, and garages don't photograph well. So we're not going to take those photos unless they make the home look more valuable. So what we do is we use that space as kind of our staging, where you can put your boxes, where you're going to put what you're going to pack out. Don't worry about it, because we're not going to photograph that. We're also not going to photograph an unfinished basement unless it's fully empty. We're not going to photograph the inside of closets unless they're empty, because they just don't photograph well. And you can actually create 3 piles. The piles are basically keep, donate, and throw it away. And you have to think, do I really need this? As far as clothes are concerned, do I really wear this? Or do I really use this product? That's what you have to think through, and just be willing to let it go. Somebody else may appreciate it, so it's okay to donate it. Find out if your kids want used furniture. That's very hard to get rid of, I will tell you that. And if on stuff that you absolutely have to have that's still kind of, overflowing in your home, consider renting a storage space to put those things away that you know for sure that you're going to take with you when you move to your next home. Most people fill their spaces with too much furniture, too large of furniture, or too many knickknacks, or just stuff, right? And it's challenging to get rid of furniture. I've seen some beautiful, very expensive high-end furniture where sellers are trying to get rid of it, and they're shocked that nobody wants to pay them anywhere near what it's worth. And I'm not surprised, because I see it all the time. Sometimes you can sell some of those pieces on consignment, or with the estate sailors. And what they do is they come and take it away. They don't actually have it in your house. So it's an option, but those estate sellers will take a good chunk of your profit. So you have to think twice about doing that. But I've had somebody do it recently that had a bunch of kind of higher end antiques, and they sold those on consignment and did quite well. But there might be, friends, family, church members that need things like this. So consider that as well. There's also other charitable organizations that you could give up some of your stuff. So if you are thinking of making a move, give us a call. My name is Barb Schlinker. I'm the broker owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Barb has the buyer's team. And we're talking about how do you declutter to get your house ready for sale. And then we're going to talk about a few tips on how to do that when we come back. If you are thinking of making a move and you would like an in-home consultation on this very topic, give us a call at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
Barb, we're talking about the best ways to get a house ready for sale by decluttering. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, Richard, we do this for folks all the time. We give them a free in-home consultation on what to do, what not to do to get their house ready for sale. But if you want to get information about it, you can actually go to my website, barbhasthebuyers.com, and download your free report called Downsizing, How to Sell the Place You Call Home. And that will give you lots of good tips on what to do and the steps to take to get yourself ready to sell your home. Just call us at 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You're listening to Barb Schlinker, host of the program, and she's with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. You've got some hot new listings, Barb. Tell us about them.
Absolutely. So I have a beautiful fiveplex down close to Fort Carson. It's a really good cash flow machine. Actually, the home was built in 2000, so it's a good building. We have a couple of properties that are now owned by the Secretary of Veterans Affairs. One nice home in Fountain that's priced at $338,500, and I have another one that's priced at $385,000. I also have a beautiful home with a main level master in Fountain, over 2,800 square feet in the low threes. I have a fantastic home on Crandall Drive, two-story with a finished basement in the low fours, a beautiful home on Splendid, close to Doherty High School, priced at $409,999. And coming soon, a fantastic home in Briargate that's priced in the upper fours. So if you are thinking of making a move, we also have a beautiful house on Sunbird Hills. This home is spectacular with great views and a 5-car garage, and a beautiful home on Delmonico in Rock Rimmon in the low sevens, beautiful views on almost an acre. Plus we have some gorgeous lots. So give us a call, 719-301-3900 or go to barbhasthebuyers.com. Richard?
You've been listening to Your Real Estate Voice. It airs every Saturday, 11 o'clock, right after Kudlow. And if you're thinking of making a move, call Barb at 719-301-3900 or visit barbhasthebuyers.com. And remember, you can see replays of the entire show on Barb's YouTube channel, Barb Has the Buyers, or listen on podcasts on all of the popular platforms like Apple, iHeartRadio, as well as others. Thanks for listening this week. To reach out to Barb, that number is 719-301-3900. Barb, you have a great weekend and a great week.
Thank you. You as well. Have a great weekend.